What up? Your boy MC's channel. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check out the playlist. You know, the playlist where all the good stuff, you know what I mean? The rest of the G files. Be covering Lancaster now. And then after, we're gonna keep moving up north, you know, to the 805 and all those areas. So all the neighborhoods, you know, from was the 661 to the 805. So you know what I mean? But for now, we in Lancaster. So, you know, let's get to it, you know, starting off right here with.
Straight from the block that was brought up in the G spot. Gang banging, boy, you know we kept the streets hot. You kept the trucha, cause if not, boy, you get shot. And fuck the vest, I grip the Glock, cause they blow tops. And talking shit was the quickest way on getting dropped. Rumbles at the park slip, you were getting hot. You heard the system booming right before you getting bobbed. Tires screeching, doors swinging, you were getting mobbed. And those who lived it understand this was just a plot. Gang banging, homie, this is just the way we're taught.
Starting off right here now in West Side Lancaster, the west of Lancaster, you have West Side Lancaster. Lancaster, you know, being short for Lancaster. Now, Lancaster is the oldest neighborhood in Lancaster, the largest, the deepest, the one most respected and known. Um, the neighborhood that law enforcement definitely has a hard time containing because these guys made the news a few times, you know, with all the sweeps, you know, because of all the gang violence, drug problems, and weapon sales problems coming from this neighborhood. Because, you know, they stay with the business, homie. This neighborhood definitely with the function, you know. These guys ain't no chumps. Now, their neighborhood is on the west side of Lancaster. They got the biggest chunk of territory um, from Lancaster Boulevard all the way to Avenue 8, so you know, to Avenue I, to 10th Street, to 15th Street. So everything that's in the middle is what's considered their neighborhood. Definitely going at it with, I would just have to say their main rivals, I think, would probably be MTC because MTC managed to even have a smaller clique like in the middle of their neighborhood. You know what I mean? So, you know, definitely some animosity right there. But nonetheless, the Lancaster neighborhood is the deepest, largely. Definitely hear about that. They get it popping. They, you know, they got the writers, homie, like down ass homies. You know, shout out to the homie Pequeño. Shout out to Oso from Lancaster, Weddle. You know, shout out to Oak Reeps. Shout out to all the homies from Lancaster right there, West Side Lancas. They're definitely putting their neighborhood on the map and holding it down. You know, going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods and putting Lancaster, their rider, and all of that on the map, homie. Like, you know, they get on and popping right in the Lancaster area. 661. I'm telling you, homie, they should be cracking, dog. It's not just deserts and all that right here, you know? Gang banging, that should be cracking everywhere, dog. Telling y'all. Like, don't let that ever deceive you. Should be popping anywhere. Also, over here, you have the Southside Criminals neighborhood. Southside Criminals, you can find them, you know, throughout the 661 Hannibal Valley. You know, roughly small neighborhood, you know. They don't really have that many members. Used to be a tanker that became a neighborhood. So, you know, you don't really see them up as much or hear about them as much as, you know, some of these other Antelope Valley neighborhoods. But nonetheless, homie, I mean, they still right there representing it and holding it down. So when you see the SSC 13, there's a criminals neighborhood right there, and definitely be putting it on the map. Another neighborhood you have right here in the Antelope Valley that's, you know, large in numbers, but that's only because in general this neighborhood is large in itself and, you know, old school. I mean, right here in Palmdale, you know, they only been here since the 90s, but um, you know, nonetheless, I mean, you know, it's a neighborhood that you definitely hear about is the V&E neighborhood, you know. V&E obviously being a gang in, you know, East LA, Barrio Nuevo, Estrada. But they do got a strong presence right here in the Antelope Valley. A few cliques, you know, like Los Primos. Um, you have the Tiny Winos. You know, you have a few cliques, you know. So, you know, they definitely get on and popping on me. So right here, you know, they also large in numbers, you know, like Montebello, you know. So right here in the Antelope, I'll also be right there representing it and holding it down right there in Lancaster. You know, definitely going in with those neighborhoods and but holding their own right there, representing. Now here's one of the neighborhoods in Lancaster that you definitely hear about, which is the Barrio Lancaster, BLC, not to be confused with the Tag Bang crew that got into the locals, different neighborhood. Um, this is, you know, Barrio Lancaster City, which is on the east side of Lancaster. You can find them throughout West Lancaster Boulevard, Avenue J, Avenue I, Avenue H. So everything that's in the middle from Avenue H, basically, all the way to Avenue K. Um, It's what's known as the Battle of Lancaster City neighborhood. Definitely large in numbers. They get it popping, homie. Like these guys, chumps, homie. Like these guys, they be definitely putting their neighborhood on the map. And going at it, it'd be popping right there because it's not the only neighborhood that's just like in that area. I mean, you do have other neighborhoods right there. So so it's it'd be hunting cracking. When so many neighborhoods are right there, and no, it's not connected to the west side Lancaster. Different neighborhoods. It's on the east side. Lancaster City, completely different neighborhoods. And although it may not be as old school as that Lancaster, this one definitely is larger numbers and definitely get it popping and putting it on the map. I mean, it's a neighborhood. Don't get it twisted that they some chumps or something like that. You know what I mean? Like this neighborhood, definitely gets it on and popping. You know what I mean? They managed to grow, really large in numbers. Like their counterparts. But yeah, that's what's up with the BLC right there. Definitely putting it on the map and holding it down right there for their neighborhood. Also in that area, you have right here, which is right literally next to the Battle of Lancaster, is MTC. Now MTC, even though there's one in the San Fernando Valley that stands for More Than Crazy, Mexicans in Control, this one is known as the Midtown Criminals. The Midtown Criminals is right there. What's from uh, you can find them through Old Field Street, through Adele Avenue, uh, Rodden Avenue, 6th Street, um, almost by words. The Joshua Memorial Park is where you can find this neighborhood. So this neighborhood, their territory may not be as large as the other neighborhoods. Nonetheless, homie, they get on and popping. You know what I mean? Uh, their neighborhood definitely no chumps. You definitely hear about this neighborhood, and they get on and cracking. I mean, they've been around since already the '80s, right there, and putting it on the map. This neighborhood. Even though it was the late '80s, I mean, nonetheless, homie, this neighborhood has been, holding it down and still right there representing to this day right there, the Midtown Criminals. And next to them, you have Vital Crazy Minds or Criminal Minds. Sureños or Criminal Minds, just like that. You know what I mean? It's the CMS neighborhood, um, which is right next to NTC. You know what I mean? Literally, the neighborhoods are only split by 5th Street, you know. So their neighborhoods from what's 5th to Devonshire. So everything in the middle of that, it's what's considered their neighborhood. They're more by El Dorado Park. You know what I mean? You can find them through like Oxton, 3rd, 2nd. That's where you can find the Crazy Mind neighborhood. So Crazy Minds right there definitely be representing. They're not that old school. Only been around since the '90s. Or they were a tank crew before they became a neighborhood. But nonetheless, homie, they're right there representing and Lancaster area and putting it on the map, homie. Like these guys ain't no chumps, so they definitely be right there holding it down. Here also you have the Southside Crooks neighborhood. Southside Crooks definitely be right here representing for their neighborhood. Same one as the one in the A1A Valley. They also got a click over here in the Antelope Valley. Um, in between, both cities of Palmdale and Lancaster, you can find them, kind of spread out. Southside Crooks definitely be putting in work, and one of the neighborhoods you do hear about. Um, I think they have a stronger presence now in the 661 than they do in the 818. So it's a neighborhood that definitely be right there representing it and putting it on the map right there.